Hello and welcome to episode 19 of From A to Global Z. I'm your host, Dr. Bill Lord. For episode 18, I explored and endorsed something totally weird, recording vocals with a trash bag over a studio microphone. Now, as it turns out, recording with a thin plastic bag over a mic in a studio is a safe way to share a mic with others without spreading viruses in the studio. As long as you safely dispose of the germ-infested trash bag and replace it with a clean one for the next vocalist, you're all set to go. For this episode, I'm going to preview 3 ambitious projects we plan to launch during 2021. I'm also going to try to record this video without videotaping me as a talking head. Part of the reasoning for taking a new approach is this is an experiment and taking a different production approach. My other reason is, frankly, I'm slammed. Consider this as a case for me exercising my option to take a bad hair day off. But before we dive in, it's mic talk time. Today I'm featuring a brand new mic that has just been released by TechZone Audio Products. Now, I want to make sure you know TechZone Audio is one of our sponsors. We're listening to the Stellar X3 large condenser cardioid microphone. It's brand new, like I mentioned, and just hitting the shelves. And to be clear, while we're sponsored by TechZone, we actually purchased this mic with Global Z funds. TechZ is a relatively new company, but they're really making quite a stir in the mic industry. The X3 is the follow-up to the wildly successful Stellar X2. The X3 features changes to the mic circuitry, the inclusion of a K67 style capsule, a new 3D body design, and an enhanced shock mount. The mic is designed to emphasize warmth and body with a slight controlled lift in the upper frequencies to give recordings a hint of presence. For you audio geeks out there, it has a -10 dB pad switch and a high pass filter. The mic ships with a soft leather zipper bag, a clown nose foam wind cover, a shock mount, and a handsome hard case, all for about $350 USD. I recommend you visit TechZone's website where you can listen to a range of audio recordings they have captured with the X3. I find this mic to be well worth considering as part of your mic locker. See what you think. Now on with our show, minus my talking head. 2020 was an excellent year for the Global Z Recording Project. We're proud and honored to have received funding and sponsorship support from Audio Movers, Delaplane Foundation, DreamHost, KMC Music, Maryland Humanities, National Endowment for the Humanities, Sweetwater Sound, the Mockingbird Foundation, the Nora Roberts Foundation, and TechZone Audio Products. Thank you to these amazing companies and organizations who support our mission. Their assistance has well positioned us to launch 3 very cool projects in 2021. Our Phase 2 North American Indigenous Music Project, which is a virtual audio production project very typical of what we usually do, and 2 other projects that are in direct response to needs resulting from the devastation brought by COVID-19. The first one being the Frederick Circle of Musical Unity project. The other project, Living and Dying with COVID-19, the Maryland Stories. So let's break these down. As mentioned, the Phase 2 North American Indigenous Music Project is very typical of one of our projects. For Phase 2, we'll bring together Indigenous student musicians from across the US and Canada using internet-based technologies. We will recruit student musicians from tribes across North America in order to forge intertribal relationships, create bonds of intertribal friendship, provide music-related teaching and learning opportunities to participants, and give Indigenous artists a platform from which they can be seen and heard through the production of original music and a documentary-style music video. A lot of logistical stuff needs to be worked out, as we intend to personally connect with as many tribal leaders individually before we formally launch. And when you factor in the number of federally recognized tribes across the US and Canada, that means sending out more than 1,200 individual emails. It's a lot of work, but it will be well worth the effort. This is going to be an amazing, exciting, and worthwhile project. Our second project deviates from the norm, but only slightly. In episode 17, I discussed the values and benefits derived from pivoting from one's mission statement. The Frederick Circle of Musical Unity project, on the surface, may sound like a project we typically run. Due to COVID, our county school system, like so many across the country and the world, has had to implement distance learning processes in order to deliver teaching while keeping students, teachers, and families safe. Now, obviously, this lack of peer-to-peer classroom interaction has resulted in many complications, including students feeling isolated, sometimes lonely or depressed, and detached. And in addition, the arts have suffered for similar reasons. Student musicians have not been able to practice or learn or perform like they would under normal conditions, and funding for many arts and cultural programs has dried up. The Frederick Circle of Musical Unity project seeks to make a positive dent on these concerns on a local level by limiting participation to student musicians across Frederick County here in Maryland. In other words, we're going to open up the project strictly to Frederick County student musicians. While our other two projects have received most of the funding needed to move forward, we're actively chasing after the funds that would make this project happen. I'm confident we can find the funds, as the need is obvious and the community benefit is substantial. Our third project is a doozy. Titled Living and Dying with COVID-19, the Maryland Stories, this one's a huge pivot for us. Maryland Humanities has given us a fantastic grant that allows us to set up audio production equipment in libraries across the state of Maryland. And once the libraries are deemed safe for patrons to once again enter their premises, patrons are able to use our gear to record oral histories, capturing stories of how COVID has impacted their lives. The recordings are to be archived and made available for public listening, and selected recordings will be aired with the help of National Public Radio. Partners for this project include Maryland Humanities, Maryland State Library, Maryland State Archives, Digital Maryland, Urbana Regional Library, Towson University's Department of Educational Technology and Literacy, and National Public Radio Flag Station WYPR, Baltimore. While this project has obvious value and need, we recognize the need to take precautions and not rush the launch of the project. The bottom line is, on this project, we need to ensure that we have processes in place to keep everyone safe from the spread of COVID while securing a high-quality recording of their COVID stories. This includes waiting until libraries are once again considered to be safe for all patrons to enter and use the facilities. In summary, we have 3 sizable projects to develop, launch, and manage, 2 of which are largely funded, 1 requires funding. Then, of course, throughout 2021, we need to raise operational funds to keep the doors open as well. It will be a very busy year. It will also be an incredibly exciting year, but very busy, and that's perfectly okay with me. There's so much potential for doing good things and helping many folks in need. So this is all very, very good news. That wraps up another episode of From A to Global Z. I hope you found value in the information provided and hope you join us to see what we're up to in episode 20. Oh, and if you're interested in finding out more about our Phase 2 North American Indigenous Music Project, journalist Graham Cullen wrote a great article about us for the Frederick News Post. Please check it out. I'll post a link to the article below. Until next time, please stay healthy, practice social distancing, wear your face covering, and be excellent to each other. As always, wishing you peace through music, I'm Bill Lord.